My friends, Real Madrid isn't rebuilding. They're staging a takeover. The transfer window hasn't even officially opened yet, and Real Madrid has already locked in 4 major signings. But here's the part nobody's talking about. There's a 5th name floating around, unconfirmed, unannounced, that could single-handedly fix every problem this team has had for 3 straight years. Mourinho came back and asked for exactly 4 players. He got all 4. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why one of these signings might be the smartest move Real Madrid has made in a decade. Let's get into it. After another disastrous season, Real Madrid finally admitted something they'd been avoiding for years. The problem was never talent. Talent was never the issue. The problem was a squad with no leadership. A defense that kept falling apart. A midfield that couldn't control a game to save its life. And a locker room that had completely lost the identity built during the club's golden era. And individually, the players were still elite. Mbappé finished the season with over 40 goals. Vinicius racked up more than 40 goal contributions of his own. But as a team, none of it clicked. The whole was somehow less than the sum of its parts. That's exactly why Florentino Perez handed the project back to Jose Mourinho, not to make Real Madrid play pretty football, but to rebuild the entire foundation. And that rebuild is already happening. Mourinho asked, and Real Madrid delivered. 4 names, 4 approvals, 4 signings, already done. Let's break down every single one and why they matter more than the headlines suggest. It started with a signing that came completely out of nowhere. 27-year-old left-back Marc Cucurella, arriving from Chelsea. A regular starter for the Spanish national team. No leaks, no rumours, no build-up. Fabrizio Romano didn't even see it coming. This one landed like a surprise punch. On paper, it's a strange move. Real Madrid already spent €50 million on Alvaro Carreras, and a lot of fans assumed the left-back spot was settled. But Carreras' season raised more questions than it answered. He's talented. He's young. He's got real upside, but he was inconsistent, swinging between brilliant performances and games where he looked completely lost. Add in some friction with the coaching staff, and you've got a player who left the wrong impression heading into a new era. And when you're building a team for Mourinho, potential isn't enough. You have to be a fighter. Mourinho builds from the back, and Cucurella is arguably the 2nd best defensive left-back in the world right now, behind only Nuno Mendes. That's the kind of reliability Mourinho actually trusts, a player who walks onto the pitch already knowing exactly what his job is. What makes this even sweeter is the redemption arc. A few years ago, Cucurella was a punchline on social media, written off as a Chelsea flop. Since then, he's completely transformed his game, sharper decision-making, elite one-on-one defending, a genuine leader for the Spanish national team. He was a key piece of Spain's Euro 2024 win. Real Madrid finally has a Spanish fullback who's a lock for both club and country, something they haven't had in years. None of this means Carreras is a bad player. It just means Cucurella is operating on a different level right now. And for Mourinho, that matters. Because Real Madrid has repeatedly gotten burned late in games, unable to hold a lead, unable to shut down elite wingers in one-on-one moments. Cucurella brings exactly the aggression, intensity and relentlessness Mourinho has always demanded from his defenders. Honestly, it's strange Chelsea let him go. He's only 27, still a starter, still important, but maybe that's why they've already lined up his replacement, 19-year-old Valentin Barco, an Argentine already capped for the World Cup squad, with the ceiling to become one of the best left-backs in the world. Financially, this is a steal. €60 million, almost identical to what they paid for Carreras, for a proven, battle-tested player used to Europe's biggest stages. And there's a bonus most fans are already excited about. Cucurella is one of the very few defenders in world football physical and fast enough to actually go toe-to-toe with Lamine Yamal. That matchup alone is worth the price of admission. This might not be the flashiest signing of the summer, but it could be Mourinho's smartest one. Next up is a signing I'm genuinely torn on. Ibrahima Konate, arriving on a free transfer from Liverpool. He's not old, he's got room to grow, but there are real question marks here too. Still, the timing makes sense. Because Real Madrid has been ignoring a hard truth for years, their defense has become a chronic, recurring disaster. The attack kept bailing them out with individual brilliance, but the backline has been falling apart season after season. Look at Milito, 4 years of knee problems. He comes back, plays a few games, gets hurt again, comes back again, hurt again. When he's fully healthy, he's genuinely one of the best centre-backs alive. The problem is you can't build a season around a player you can't count on being fit. David Alaba hasn't looked the same since his own injury a couple of years back. Marco Asensio never quite hit Real Madrid's standard. Dean Huijsen is still a teenager, still developing. And Antonio Rudiger is now 34 and spending more time in the medical room than on the pitch. Real Madrid needed reinforcements. Full stop. That's where Konat comes in. Even after 2 seasons that weren't quite his best form, he still brings exactly what this squad is missing: physical dominance, aggression in duels, recovery speed, and comfort covering huge amounts of space. In a game that's only getting faster, you need a defender who can sprint back and clean up mistakes. And he's arriving for free. In a market where top-tier centre-backs go for 80 to 90 million euros, landing a French international at zero cost is almost unheard of. Add in the fact that he's already close with half the locker room: Chouamni, Mendy, Camavinga, Mbappe, and the integration should be seamless. Realistically, with Milito sidelined, Konat steps straight into the starting sheet. When Milito eventually returns to full fitness, if that ever fully happens, I'd expect him to reclaim his spot, with Konat as a rock-solid rotation option. On the other side of defense, Rudiger currently starts, but there's real chatter that Real Madrid is chasing Nico Schlotterbeck too. If that deal happens, Schlotterbeck and Konat could form a genuinely intimidating centre-back pairing. Konat isn't walking in as a saviour, he's walking in as depth for a position that's been running on fumes. But that's exactly what a Mourinho rebuild needs: not just starters, but real competitive alternatives for when injuries inevitably hit. And they always do. Signing number 3 solves a problem most fans haven't even clocked yet. Denzel Dumfries, arriving from Inter Milan. Everyone looks at Real Madrid's attack and sees the obvious brilliance: Mbappe, Vinicius, Bellingham. But the real issue for years has been what happens without the ball. Real Madrid had talent, but not enough organisation, not enough leadership, and not enough players willing to do the dirty, unglamorous work. Dumfries fixes something structural too. Real Madrid's starting lineup skews incredibly young. Their oldest regular starters are Courtois and Rudiger, both in their 30s, and that's about it. Since Kroos, Modri and Nacho all left, the squad has lost serious veteran leadership. Dumfries brings exactly that kind of hardened, experienced presence. There's also a sharp tactical logic here, especially with Trent Alexander-Arnold now in the building. Arnold is essentially a playmaker wearing a fullback's shirt. His passing range and ability to switch play are elite. But Mourinho likes contrast. One attacking fullback, one defensive fullback, deployed depending on the matchup. Arnold provides the creativity. Dumfries provides the steel. It is a slight adjustment, though at Inter, Dumfries often played higher up as a wing-back. But watching him with the Netherlands, he's proven he can operate as a genuine, disciplined fullback too. Reliable defensively and full of physical energy, arguably more stamina than Arnold himself. To be clear, this isn't Real Madrid signing a superstar to unseat Arnold. Arnold will start, but Arnold also battles constant injuries. And having a player of Dumfries' caliber as backup, someone who could realistically steal the starting spot if given the chance, is exactly the kind of depth Mourinho wants. And the value here is outstanding. Real Madrid triggered his release clause for just 25 million euros. In a market where fullbacks routinely go for 60 to 70 million, just look at what they paid for Cucurella. It's not the loudest signing of the summer, but these are exactly the kinds of players who bring balance to a team chasing every trophy. And now, the signing I think might be the smartest of them all, the one that could finally solve a problem Real Madrid has had since the day Toni Kroos retired. Bernardo Silva arriving from Manchester City. When fans imagine new signings, they picture speed and explosiveness. But Real Madrid's real problem was never a lack of pace, if anything. They've had too much speed and not enough control. That's precisely where Bernardo makes sense. He's spent years as one of Manchester City's most important players, not because he's the fastest or the strongest, but because he does something almost nobody else in world football can do: control a match in impossibly tight spaces. Against elite teams like City, Bayern or Liverpool, Real Madrid usually finds room to play. The real problem shows up against La Liga's low-block sides Getafe, Celta Vigo, Osasuna, teams that sit deep with 5 defenders and dare Madrid to break them down. And historically, Real Madrid has struggled badly against exactly that setup. Bernardo is the answer. He receives the ball under pressure, spins away from defenders in a phone booth of space, finds passing lanes nobody else even sees, and almost never gives the ball away. He's the kind of player who turns a stuck, frustrated attack into a clear chance in a single touch. There's an obvious personal connection here too. Bernardo is Portuguese, and this move almost certainly happens because of Mourinho. Under a different coach, it's fair to wonder if he'd have come at all, but he also brings the versatility Mourinho loves: attacking midfielder, right winger, inside forward, even a disciplined role in deeper midfield when needed. And just like Dumfries, Bernardo brings something this current squad is desperately short on: winning experience from a genuine veteran. He's won 6 Premier Leagues, a Champions League, and international silverware with Portugal. Since Cruz, Modri and Keylor Navas left, the dressing room has gotten dramatically younger. Plenty of talent, but leadership isn't something you can manufacture. Bernardo brings it built in. The best part? He's not walking in demanding to be the headline star. There's a real chance he accepts a flexible role, starting some weeks, coming off the bench in others. If Real Madrid ends up moving on from Tchouaméni or Valverde, Bernardo becomes an automatic starter. Even without that, I wouldn't be shocked to see him take a spot over Tchouaméni or Arda Güler in certain matchups. Real Madrid's midfield needs exactly what Bernardo provides: a pause button, control, the calm that's been missing since Cruz walked away. So, that's the breakdown: 4 signings, 4 very different problems, one clear plan behind all of it. And remember what I said at the top: there's still a 5th name circulating that hasn't been confirmed, one that could tie this entire rebuild together. We'll be covering that the second it's official, so don't go anywhere. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 4 signings actually excites you the most? Drop it in the comments, and be honest, because I'm reading every single one and replying today. If this video helped you understand what Real Madrid is actually building here, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time, because this transfer window is just getting started, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. See you in the next one.